Okay, folks, this is a Mike's Instant Movie Review from the beach location. I normally see these movies in the theater, and then I do an instant movie review right here on Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel, but I've been negligent. I've seen 3 films recently, and I haven't done reviews, and now I'm going to do them. So the first film we have is Till. This is based on the Emmett Till story. I'm not sure if it's also based in part or in full by the Blood of Emmett Till book that came out about 10 years ago. It might have been. But this movie is very well made. It's a heavy subject. If you don't know, Emmett Till was a young man, African American, black, whatever you want to say, who was living in Chicago with his mother. His father had been killed in, I want to say World War II. And he kind of had this stepfather type of guy. He was a nice guy. That's Emmett. And apparently what happens is Emmett's uncle invites Emmett's mother's uncle invites Emmett, this is a true story, down to Mississippi, I believe, to hang out with his cousins for a few weeks. I guess they'd be second cousins or whatever, but family. And his mom, you know, she's that motherly type of, what do you have? The motherly type of knowledge or insight or premonition. She's warning her son about how to behave in the South at this time. I guess this is like 1954, I want to say. And she's trying to warn her son to be careful, be extra careful, and so forth. And the mom seems to have a real grudge against the South in any way. Like, she just doesn't like it, or doesn't like the way black people are treated there. And we learned this through some conversation with her and her mother, played by Whoopi Goldberg. I'm distracted because there's a vehicle near me. But we get back to this movie. Overall, I liked it. I mean, it's one of those movies that you're not there to be chuckling or you know, smiling. It's a hard-hitting movie. It's an American tragedy, a crime. This poor kid, for making the simple error of whistling at a white woman, is basically murdered by these racists. And also there's some revelations in this film that I did not know. Apparently there was a few black guys who helped with this murder as well. I'm not sure why. They don't really get into that aspect of why those guys were there. But in any event, I wouldn't say it's a shocking movie, because, you know, if you've been around for a while, you already know the story. Does it make you angry? Yes. Does it make you sad? Yes. But it's one of those movies that, you know, you should see. If there's school children, they should probably see this movie. I didn't really get to the whole point that the kid is basically mutilated so badly that he's unrecognizable in death. But his mother insists that they have an open casket, and that the press, I believe it was Jet magazine, or maybe Ebony, but I thought it was Jet, they published a photograph of the young man and his disfigured face. And basically she's saying that this is the result of hatred, this is the result of racism, this is the result of violence. And she was right. So, I mean, the woman had great strength, great courage. But yeah, the movie will kind of rip your heart out. And when you see this movie, you know, when I was a kid growing up, I might have been naive, but you know, we always thought of, I say we, I guess I mean me, always thought of like racism as something from the 1950s or the Civil War or something like that. Like, it always felt like it was in the rearview mirror and now everything's fine. And then I grew up a little bit and it's like, well, I guess not everything is fine. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's not fine in that regard. And you know, it makes you think about the George Floyd case and so forth. So there you go. How you doing? This nice gentleman doing his little guess this is what you get when you do your Mike's Instant Movie Review on the beach. You get what you get, right, for atmosphere. Let's move on to our... So is it worth seeing? Yeah, it's definitely worth seeing. Do you have to watch it in the theater? You can watch it at home, I guess. But, I mean, I think either way. It's probably a good movie to watch when you're in a serious mood. In fact, when I got out of this movie, folks, I was, I wouldn't say depressed, but I was definitely solemn. And I felt the need to go see another movie, to be quite honest with you, to kind of cleanse my palate a little bit, to, I don't know, feel a little bit better about humanity. So I went to another movie that night, and I saw Ticket to Paradise, I think it's called. And this is Julia Roberts and George Clooney as playing a once married, now divorced couple who has a grown daughter who's just graduating from college. And she and her female friend, who I initially thought was her lover, her girlfriend, but that's not the case. She and her college roommate, after graduation, go off to some little island paradise for a month. They think they're just gonna get their kicks for a month, have fun, celebrate the fact that they're both college graduates, and then she's gonna move on to a career in the law, in lawyering, and so forth. But guess what? Plans change, and the young woman, I don't know the actress's name, she meets a guy, of course, and so that's when I knew that she wasn't a lesbian. The beginning of the movie, I thought it might have been a more interesting movie if the young lady and her college roommate were lovers, but that's not the case. Wasn't that good of a movie. So basically, you go into this whole thing. There's more people just bothering me. Go into this whole movie, and you know, it's kind of what you'd expect, I think, from these folks. Not in a bad way. I mean, these are big-time movie stars. George Clooney, Julia Roberts, big-time players for 25 years at least. I guess more like 30, more than 30 for Julia. Clooney got his start on the Facts of Life TV show. So these folks have been around for a while. So they have a built-in rapport with the audience. The audience likes these actors. It's easy enough to accept them as a divorced couple. They have a good back and forth bickering. There's a lot of comedic comebacks, or what do you call that in stand-up comedy? The comedic recall or repeat. There's a word that they use. The comedic callback, I think it is, the callbacks. They have some comedic callbacks in this thing. Basically with the woman, you've probably seen it in the trailer, the woman that's on the plane with them, she reappears. Overall, it's a good movie. It's light. I mean, the contrast of seeing Till and then seeing this Ticket to Paradise, it just kind of reinforces that notion that, you know, some folks are just living on a different, you know, some people, I guess the word used is privileged or entitled or whatever the fuck. But I mean, some people just have an advantage. And I guess I'm talking about the fictional characters in Ticket to Paradise against the non-fictional characters in Till. But you see that within the same country, the United States of America, some people seem to have all these opportunities and can do whatever the fuck they want and go off to an island paradise and blah, blah, blah. And their biggest problem in the world is that their parents are divorced. And then you have Emmett Till, who's murdered violently for no reason. So, and gets no justice in death. So, I mean, that's the type of thing that I think about when I see these movies in the same day, I guess. It's not to discount the dilemmas in the movie Ticket to Paradise, but after seeing Till, it all seems very light and frivolous, okay? But it's a good movie for what it is. Moving forward, I thought there was a moment, if you do see Ticket to Paradise, where the college roommate girl, you know, she's cute too, and she's kind of a, you know, slut. She goes off to the bar and she's talking to her friend's father, who is George Clooney. They're the last two at the bar, and I was wondering if they were going to have a sexual encounter of some kind, but they did not. Once again, I feel like I could be writing better if they listen to my ideas. The final movie, I was going to leave, but now there's people blocking my way. The final movie of this Trinity is actually a callback. 1992, Bram Stoker's Dracula, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, who you probably think of the most for the Godfather series. Yeah, I believe Godfather 1, 2, and 3. Coppola directed all three. By the way, Godfather 3 always gets to the short end of the stick in that conversation, but it was about 2 years ago they did a redo of that. I think it was called Godfather 3 Coda. I saw that, and it was actually pretty good. So if you get a chance, see that. It was a good remix, a good remake. Not a remake, but a re-edit. Let's see what else. There's more people. So, moving forth, the vampire, Bram Stoker's Dracula, I mean, it really took you to a different place seeing this movie on the big screen. First of all, Fathom Events, I believe it's Fathom Events, they need to really consider the fact that they're starting these special movies like right on the fucking dot. Like, I was in the movie theater no later than 7:01 p.m. and the movie had already started. I mean, you go see a regular movie these days and you have 20 minutes of previews. So you go see one of these Fathom Events and they're starting right on time. So anyway, just distracted. Just now, like, my exit is blocked off because there's only like one way to get off this beach, and it's like a bridge. And there's a gentleman in a wheelchair on the bridge. So now I'm stuck. What am I going to do? Crawl over the guy? So anyway, this Dracula movie, it's good. Gary Oldman, I was kind of wondering whatever happened to him. He plays the Count, Dracula or Dracula. Really fetching as Mia, I think, right? Is Winona Ryder. I mean, I know she's all doing these wonderful things with Stranger Things now, blah, blah, blah. But back then, when she was like the it girl, for about 5 or 6 years, at least, I mean, she could just do no wrong. She had a very pleasant face, very good face for cinema. Cute girl, good actress too. So she's in this thing. The woman, I should say, that played the other female lead was Lucy. I'm trying to remember her name. And she was gorgeous back then. Oh my God. Turns out she married Jude Law. I don't know if they're still together, but that was nice. Then you have a bunch of things. I forgot that Anthony Hopkins is in this movie in a very pivotal role. He has some real good lines, comedic lines. You know, they're basically got Lucy in her box, her coffin, and and Hopkins, as the guy, says to the other guy, the guy that was one of the guys that was in love with Lucy, says, "Hey, meet me tonight and bring some tools for some sharp tools. Meet me tonight and bring some sharp tools." And the guy says, "For what? An autopsy on Lucy?" And Hopkins' character says, "No, I just want to cut off her head and take out her heart." I don't know, you have to be there. But anyway, movie is very good. You know, it's good. It holds up. I don't know, I feel a little unsatisfied. I was trying to do this Mike's Instant Movie Review on the beach. There's just a lot of goddamned people here. Every time I got going with a rant, I just looked over and some asshole was kind of listening to me, which I want you to do if you're watching at home. But while I'm doing these videos in public, I just kind of want my space. But I guess if I really did, I wouldn't be doing them in public. I'd be doing them privately. But that's not the case today. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. Those are your movies.